welcome back to another video. My name is Chloe and today's video is my tips and tricks and things to plan for if you're going to Disney when you're pregnant. I was super lucky and we went to Disney 3 times while I was pregnant. I was 2 months on our first trip, which was when we filmed like our pregnancy announcement. I will link that video down below. I also went on spring break with my mom and my sister, and I was about 4 months pregnant at that time, so just out of like the first trimester-ish. Thankfully I had a pretty easy first trimester, so I wasn't sick, but still was definitely pregnant. And then Dan and I went on our baby moon to Disney World as well, and that was when I was about 6.5 months pregnant. So I've basically gone as much as I possibly could up until the point that I couldn't fly anymore. So I thought I would share some like tips and tricks and kind of things to keep in mind when planning for a trip if you're going to Disney while pregnant. I had a couple people message me and say that they're kind of disappointed that they're not going to have the full experience when they go to Disney while pregnant, and I'm here to tell you that you can still have an absolutely amazing time. I wouldn't have gone 3 times if I didn't think that I would have a great time going to Disney while pregnant. I would just share some of my experiences with you. Obviously keep in mind if you have certain medical conditions or if your doctor advises against going to Disney or traveling, definitely keep that in mind. This is basically if you get the all clear to go, and still remember to listen to your body when you're in Disney if you do decide to go, because everybody is different and every pregnancy is different. So just keep all those things in mind. This is just what I did in my experiences, and maybe you can learn and get some ideas for yourself. So let's just jump right in and get started. So my first tip and my top tip is definitely to stay hydrated. It is absolutely the most important tip I can give you. Make sure to either have a grocery order delivered. We usually go through Amazon Fresh, and we usually get like 1 to 2 24 packs of water for the room. That way at night I can drink water, in the morning I can drink water before the parks, and then we go back to the room for like resting and stuff. It's just nice to have the water on hand. Obviously in the parks, all of the quick services will give you free glasses of ice water, no problem. And that goes for anybody. You don't have to just be pregnant to get the free ice water. So definitely keep that in mind. My favorite for getting ice water is definitely a Starbucks. They have the best filtered water, and you can usually get like a Trenta-sized cup, and it just hits the spot usually. So definitely stay hydrated. You can bring your own water bottles into the park. The only downside with bringing your own water bottle is that the water fountains sometimes have like a sulfury taste in Florida. So if you're gonna do that, maybe bring some like Crystal Light packets to flavor the water. And like I said, that goes for every single person. If you want to save the money and not buy Disney's water when you're in the parks, I would recommend bringing those Crystal Light packets to fill up like the water from the water fountains. Just makes everything taste a little bit better. There's no reason to be disappointed that you're not going to be able to go on all the thrill rides in Disney. Thankfully, a lot of Disney is pregnancy baby friendly, and I will say most rides that you can go on in Disney are safe to ride while pregnant. At least that's what Disney advises. Again, there are a couple that I'm going to mention I would maybe stick away from if you're worried about that sort of thing. But anything that a baby can go on, like an infant can go on in Disney, usually a pregnant woman can go on. So in Magic Kingdom, you can ride the People Mover, you can ride the Carousel, you can ride Dumbo, you can ride It's a Small World, Jungle Cruise, all of the boat attractions basically. Obviously the shows are a great place to go into and get like an AC break, but I will list everything attraction wise in the parks down below. I will leave a link to like a website that shows you like everything that's pregnancy safe. So just keep that in mind. You're not missing out on too much if you are going to Disney while pregnant. Like I said, there's lots and lots of rides and attractions and shows that you get to do as well. The ones that you won't be able to ride would be like Kilimanjaro Safari. That one's just generally too bumpy, and you're advised to not ride that one. So that's one that you'd have to skip, that like an infant could technically ride. And then 2 that are technically safe for pregnant people to ride that I would probably advise against would be the Alien Swirling Saucers. That one really whips you around. Even though it's technically safe, and I did ride it when I was 2 months pregnant, I skipped it on all future trips because I just didn't feel super comfortable riding it, especially the way it whips you around. So I would probably skip that one, or at least ride in a car by yourself so you're not like having somebody slam into you when it moves around. And the one that like I didn't skip it, but it definitely does shake you around, is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Like after the Daisy dancing scene, it really shakes you in that room. So just keep that in mind if it's something that you're worried about. I felt safe on it and I didn't feel uncomfortable on it, but just keep that in mind if you've never been on that ride before. Might be one that you want to skip. And as far as rides go, I would recommend, if you can, budgeting for lightning lanes. It just makes a world of difference on your feet and your body. You don't have to wait in these super long lines. Again, it might not be totally worth it if you're only doing a few rides in a day, but I found that on every single trip, even if I was only getting 2 or 3 rides with the lightning lanes, I still felt like I was getting my money's worth. I didn't want to wait in line. I didn't want my feet to start swelling, and it was worth the money to feel good at the end of the day versus feeling like, oh my God, we spent an hour in line, my body's aching. So if you can budget for it, I would recommend it. There are still plenty of rides in the Lightning Lane Genie Plus world that you can ride with the Genie Plus. So it definitely does work out if you can afford it, and I definitely recommend it. And then if you are traveling with anybody who is still going to be riding the thrill ride, so like on my February trip with Dan and our baby Moon, he basically just rode whatever I could ride because he's not a big Disney ride person anyway. Like, he goes on them because I want to go on them. I was definitely the one who was more upset to not be able to go on like Tower of Terror or ride Tron for the first time, those kind of things. But when I went with my mom and my sister, they love the Disney thrill rides. So if you're traveling with somebody who still wants to go on those rides, take that moment as an opportunity to maybe go grab a snack or a drink that you really were looking forward to, or you might not have had time otherwise, or it's just a nice time to take like a break, find a nice shaded spot. Even if you just get like a glass of ice water, it's just nice to get off your feet for a few minutes. So it's not the end of the world if your family or the people you're traveling with still want to go on those rides. There's still plenty for you to do. It gives you a minute to kind of cool off, rest, and stay hydrated in those moments on your trip. So don't be upset if you can't go on those rides, because those rides will still be there when you come back. So don't worry about that, and just enjoy those moments. And maybe give a call to somebody. Like when I was with my mom and my sister, I'd usually call Dan and just kind of give him an update on the trip and just kind of give him the lowdown on what was going on. But definitely don't be too upset that you can't go on the really cool rides, or the thrill rides, I should say. And even like some of the thrill rides that you can't go on, some of them you can like see the ride from outside. So like Tron, I was able to see my mom and my sister go by on that ride, which was really, really cool. And it's an experience that I wouldn't have had otherwise if I was with them. And Expedition Everest in Animal Kingdom, that ride, I got to see them come down on the roller coaster. So that was really cool. So just look for the little moments and just enjoy those moments you have to just kind of sit and chill and be in the parks. And speaking of snacks and drinks that you can get while you're waiting for your family, or even if you just want to go get a snack and a drink because you're pregnant, why not, right? YOLO! Also, you're going to have the opportunity to have a guilt-free snack or drink and not feel like you're breaking your diet, right? So for any of the parks, I would recommend a ice cream from any of the stands, like a Mickey bar or the Mickey ice cream sandwich bar. Those are definitely like a go-to for myself. I love me a Mickey ice cream bar, so that was kind of like a snack that I would go to if I was looking for something. In Magic Kingdom, I would recommend the cinnamon roll from Gaston's Tavern, or the cheeseburger rolls from the cart by Adventureland, or even just a Dole Whip, or just like an I Lava You float from one of those stands. Those are always just a great thing to grab and enjoy the atmosphere of Disney, especially if you want to like grab one of the tables by the plaza or just sit in Gaston's Tavern. Like, those are just really fun moments to kind of like slow down. Obviously, sometimes they have special treats at like Tomorrowland Terrace. So always keep an eye out if you're going to Disney while pregnant what snacks are coming out, because it's something that you can definitely enjoy. Especially in the Magic Kingdom, like the drinks are going to always be non-alcoholic, so you don't even have to worry about that. In Epcot, I don't really have a go-to snack in Epcot, mostly because there's usually a festival going on. So the festivals make a great time to kind of grab some of those snacks that you want to try, or the non-alcoholic drinks. Like, I think there's like a pickle drink going on for Food and Wine Festival, so that might be something that you're really interested in, especially if you're craving pickles while pregnant. My favorite so far was at the Festival of the Arts. They had this like non-alcoholic slushy, I think it might have been watermelon or mango. That was so good. I had little boba balls. So keep an eye out for those fun drinks and snacks. Obviously, you're not going to get like the sushi donut from Japan, but there are plenty of pregnancy safe foods throughout the festival, so definitely check them out, and hopefully there'll be something that maybe you've been craving or you just wanted to try, and those are always fun to try in Epcot. Hollywood Studios, my favorite is definitely going to Baseline Tap House. You can't go wrong with any of the snacks that they have there. The pretzel, the almonds, the cheese board, any of them are a great snack for you during the day. And they even have a couple of non-alcoholic drinks, and they have like a pink lemonade, and there was one other one I can't think of off the top of my head, but definitely some fun drinks there as well. And then in Batu, they have all the different flavored popcorns, and then you could even get the green or blue milk, but obviously you can get the non-alcoholic. Or even if you're going to Olga's Cantina, they have tons of non-alcoholic drinks that are super tasty. A Hyperdrive, I think, is my favorite there for a non-alcoholic drink. And I've even gotten those not pregnant, so it really doesn't feel like, oh, I can't get an alcoholic drink because I'm pregnant. And I will say, when you're buying the non-alcoholic drinks, you save a lot of money. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna go back to buying the alcoholic drinks in Disney, because alcohol doesn't make me feel super great, kind of makes me feel sick. And I still got to have a lot of tasty drinks and didn't feel sick, and I saved a lot of money. So might not be the end of the world if you have to get the non-alcoholic drinks. And then last but not least, Animal Kingdom, which probably has my favorite snacks out of like all of the parks. So they have the Night Blossom in Pandora, which is so good. Definitely a go-to favorite for me. The street corn, which is over by the entrance to Kilimanjaro Safari, which that was like my snack while my mom and my sister went on the safari. That was so good. And then the Anandapur ice cream truck, they have like a Yeti ice cream sundae that is so good. It has like sprinkles and it's just like a twist. So good. Definitely recommend that one. And those are all really delicious. So you really will never be without a snack or a drink that you can get in Disney while pregnant. And I also would recommend to plan some nice dinners. Obviously, you can bring a baby to all of the dinners in Disney, so it's not something that you're going to lose out in the future, but you will be planning around a baby's schedule, their nap time, if they're fussy, if you have to get up and go feed them, all that good stuff. So I would recommend planning a couple nice dinners so you can just enjoy the last few times before you have the baby with you. So we really enjoyed Citrico's when we ate there in February. That was probably one of our favorite meals from the whole like year. Narcoossee's is really good. California Grill is really good. Flying Fish is really good. Basically, you can't go wrong with any of the dining in Disney, but definitely plan a couple nice dinners just to kind of have that last delicious dinner with just the two of you. On to what to wear to Disney while pregnant. Obviously, what you're wearing is going to depend on the time of year. Keep in mind, when it's super hot in the summer, I would recommend, like if you're planning on wearing a dress, wearing shorts under the dress. I had this happen to me. The dress that I was planning on wearing to Epcot was a dress when I tried it on, and then by the time we went, I had grown so much that it was more of just a long shirt. So I was really glad that I had packed like a nice pair of biker shorts to wear under it. That way it was more modest and also helped prevent any sort of chafing. I wear shorts under every single dress when I'm not pregnant and when I'm pregnant, just because I feel more comfortable that way. But definitely when you're pregnant, obviously your body's changing and you don't want to be like uncomfortable or chafing or have any issues like that. So I definitely recommend packing a couple extra pairs of biker shorts. And then if you're going in like the colder months or the months where it might be like chillier at night, definitely bring like a sweater or layers so that way you don't feel like too cold at night and then you're not super hot during the day. And as far as like planning what to wear, because obviously your body is changing when you're pregnant, go for the dresses that have a little bit more stretch or have a backup option that's a little bit stretchier. If you watch any of like my outfit videos from this year from these trips, you'll see that a lot of times I had like a whole backup outfit. If the dress that I was planning on wearing was a little bit tighter and I wasn't 100% sure it would fit the time of our trip, I'd have like a dress that was basically like smocked, easy to get into, that wouldn't be too tight. So just keep that in mind if you're planning outfits or you're trying to think of what to wear. Definitely go for like the stretchier things. Like these short rompers are really comfortable. Definitely a lot of room to grow. So just keep that in mind if you're planning outfits for your Disney trip. And a big tip I can give you is wear comfortable shoes. I did not learn this lesson on my April trip. On my spring break trip, I wore the wrong shoes for the whole day in Magic Kingdom and my foot was killing me for pretty much the whole trip. If I had worn sneakers like I should have, I would have been fine. So I learned that lesson for our June trip. If we were going to be gone for a big chunk of time, I made sure to wear comfortable sneakers and shoes that would support my feet. Wish I would have learned that lesson in April, but I didn't. And so that was a little bit uncomfortable, but definitely make sure you're wearing sneakers that fit and are comfortable, and maybe even throw in a pair of like flip-flops or something just in case your feet do swell. That way you have something that will still fit I didn't have that issue while I was in Disney, but currently my feet are swelling pretty bad, so flip-flops are all that fit. So you gotta just plan for all ends of it. As far as planning your day goes, obviously it's gonna be determined kind of like what trip you're taking. If you already have some kids and you're bringing kids along, obviously you're not going to be resting as much. You're going to probably be spending more times in the parks. But if it's more of a baby moon or just your partner and yourself, definitely I would suggest planning some either rest days or planning a more restful day. So when we did our baby moon, we would do like the pool and like a nicer lunch, or even just like a normal lunch at the resort during the day, and then we would just do the parks at night. Especially when you're doing lightning lane, we could really stack up our lightning lanes for the evening, and that way we weren't waiting in line super long at the parks, and then we could still get a bunch done at the parks, and we were still resting during the day. So that was a that was a great trip. It didn't feel super stressed. We had time to rest, and it was just a great way to plan the day. But I've also obviously spent the whole day in the park. So like I said, just make sure to plan in those rest times. So like if your family or the people you're with are going on the thrill rides that you can't go on, definitely take the time to sit, have some water, a drink, a snack, and really decompress for a minute, or even go see a show. Like the Finding Nemo show is a great one to get some AC in Animal Kingdom, or PhilharMagic in Magic Kingdom's a great one, or Hall of Presidents. Lots of great spots to get some AC breaks in the parks if you're going to be in the parks all day. As far as accommodations go, like where to stay in Disney while pregnant, obviously that's going to depend on your budget. We have stayed in a couple different options. When we went in February, we had already planned that trip before we even knew we were pregnant, and so we had booked the Grand Floridian, and that was an amazing stay. It definitely made the trip more magical. We were so close to Magic Kingdom on the monorail, so that was definitely a super positive to being pregnant in Disney. But you don't have to go deluxe just because you're pregnant. If I were to pick where I would stay, like if budget was a concern, I would definitely recommend either Pop or Art of Animation and being on the Skyliner, or even Caribbean Beach. Any of those resorts are great options. You're on the Skyliner, you're close to two of the parks, pretty close to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom by bus, and I think those are just like probably where I would stay. It's just nice to be close to a couple of the parks. You really can't be close to all the parks in Disney if you haven't been there. Walt Disney World is very, very spread out, so just keep that in mind that you're only going to get close to probably 2 parks out of the 4, and so being on the Skyliner is definitely a super positive if you're going to be pregnant in Disney, or even if you're not, because those resorts are amazing. Definitely my top choices right now, with the Skyliner being what it is. It's just so quick and convenient to get to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. And if you need a quote for a Disney trip, I am a travel agent who specializes in Disney vacations, so definitely send me a message. Either you can go through Instagram, you can send me an email, c.colton@magicalvacationplanner.com, any of those places, and we can get you planning on your next Disney vacation. I think the last tip that I have is to take pictures. No matter what stage of pregnancy you're at, if you just found out you're pregnant, or if you're a few months along, or if you're heading into that 3rd trimester, take the photos. You will not regret it. Even if you feel like your bump isn't like bump enough, or if you feel like, ugh, I'm just hot and I'm tired and I don't feel like taking a picture, take the pictures. I'm so happy that I have pictures from all of those trips to kind of look back on. We did do the capture your moment when we went in February, which was really nice. That's how we did our announcement photos. You don't have to do that. If you just have PhotoPass, you could take some cute photos with them too, but the capture your moment was a nice like treat for us to do, and we got some really cute photos from that. But even just photos on your iPhone, take the pictures, remember those moments, because they will be gone like that. So definitely keep that in mind when you go to Disney World, if you're pregnant, Disney World or Disneyland, while you're pregnant. And last but not least, just remember to have fun, enjoy the moment, enjoy those moments being there and being pregnant. And I'm so happy and thankful that we were able to go as much as we did while I was pregnant, and it was really just a special time to go and have her in my belly and just get to look back on all those memories and photos and videos and get to tell her about her first trips to Disney someday. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions down below about going to Disney while pregnant. I will do my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!